Cohort 4. Today is really the beginning of something really powerful, and I just want to say a big thank you to each one of you for making the time investment for your skilling and your growth. So thank you so much. Where's my cursor? There we go. Just very quickly, I do want to present to you our organising team. We have Shravani, who is our director of the Women in Power Platform Mentorship Programme, myself, Sapana, Drew, Seekant, Delia, and most importantly, we have our wonderful founder of Women in Power, Danielle Moon. So maybe Danielle, would you like to open up with a message to just inspire us and mark the beginning of this cohort?
Of course I would. Okay, so for everyone who I have not met before, I am Danielle Moon. And first of all, thank you for being here. This is huge. I know it's a lovely Friday morning for some of us, and you maybe have not woken up, or I'm in the middle of you being able to get out to the bar and have a beer for the day. So I won't take up too much time. I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what makes Cohort 4 so exciting and amazing. We started off first cohort, and I'm going to bluff a little bit of the numbers because I'm always forgetful of my details, but like we had about 20. And then our second cohort, 40. And we're like, we doubled? Like, oh my gosh, what an amazing thing that we got to double. And then cohort 3 came in and we are at 100. And I think we all fell out of our seats. And we were like, oh my gosh, like, what do we do? How are we doing this? And the beauty of that team is that they have taken feedback and understanding and growth and just changed every one of our cohorts just enough to make us a little bit closer to a perfect success every single time. So one, I want to thank that team because you guys are amazing. You've been doing so much, and all volunteer. And I love the passion that you bring to the table to help everyone get this mentoring opportunity. And then this one, we broke the bank again, and we actually had to shut off the ability for more mentees to come in because it's too big. And we're going to have to go back and figure out how do we continue to grow at scale at this point. So thank you for honestly making it a problem that's happy to be had, and understanding the true value of being a mentor, being a mentee. The best compliments we can get is that our mentees then become mentors. And our mentors become mentees, and it becomes this beautiful full circle of everyone learning and growing. The networking of this has all been amazing. We feature some great apps that have been built, so our skilling is going up, and it just all of that is packaged into this amazing community. So I just want to say humbly, I am so impressed with what you guys have done. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time and the attention to grow yourself and look back and help somebody else grow. So I know that we've got another packed stack of an amazing speaker coming up after me. So I've had coffee. I've had a lot of coffee this morning, so I apologize for the overexcitement. But I will, if you want to switch to the next slide, I'll just go over one big thing that I also wanted to recognize as having an upcoming event. So if you are coming to the Power Platform Conference, please join us, be our guest. And yes, I do play the Beauty and the Beast song every time that comes out of my mouth. But be our guest, come have lunch with us, get to connect. We'll have lots and lots of people. We have all the room you can imagine. And so we'll have some panel discussions, we'll have some networking, we'll have a game. All of those things will be available during this time, as well as just time for you to meet anybody within the community. We will also be showcased at the community lounge, which is a huge growth moment. Since last year was our start, that actually referenced our first live meeting of people together. So 1 year later, let's do it even bigger and better, and have that as well. So sorry, I blew through a lot of that. The excitement levels here. Thank you for being part of this journey with us and keeping us growing and reaching more women out there, to bring them into this beautiful world of technology in the Power Platform space. And I will turn it over now to our amazing speaker. Shreya, did you want to introduce, or you want me to?
You can introduce, it's fine.
Okay. Let me introduce you to the one and only April. Okay. April will laugh at this because I tell the story probably embarrassingly enough, but when I first joined Microsoft 4.5 years ago, I realized that one of my heroes was now only a Teams message away. And I fangirled hard at getting to know and being in the presence of April. So I'm so excited that she has come to join us and give a little bit more into this community. She already does so much, and I'm so humbly appreciative of what April has represented in my journey personally coming into the Power Platform space, and now being able to just continue to share even broader. So I will turn it over to you, April, and thank you for being here.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm just fangirling over you right now, Danielle, and everyone involved in Women in Power, because just the growth is amazing to see of like all the good, amazing work that you're doing. It's just really inspiring. So wow, like 20 to 40 to 100, now you have to cut it off. I mean, it's crazy. So I'm just really, really happy to be here, and thanks for letting me come on and talk for a little bit with everyone starting this latest mentorship journey.
Amazing. So maybe April, because well, I'm assuming everybody on this call knows who you are, but maybe just giving a small intro to yourself, just for those who don't know, since they're new to our community, to get to know you a little bit better.
Absolutely. So as Danielle pointed out, I work at Microsoft. I've been here about almost 6 years now. Before that, I was an MVP. I ran my own consulting business. So one of the things that I do at Microsoft here now is I'm in our Power Platform developer relations team. So I run a team of 4 other great advocates here, and one of our jobs is kind of to go around and help people get upskilled in the Power Platform, create a lot of content around that, and just anything that we can do to enable the community to be able to grow and thrive and build solutions with AI and the Power Platform and Copilot Studio and all of that. So it's a really fun job. I honestly can say that I love what I do. I love going to work every day because I get to help people, and that's at its core what I've always wanted to do. And I just love being here, and looking forward to what's next with everything changing and stuff with AI and like all the great things coming up, Power Platform Conference. So that's kind of what I do in a nutshell.
Amazing. No, thank you for sharing. And I thought for today's session, I put together some questions because I think others on this call will also benefit from hearing a bit more about yourself and your story. If you don't mind me asking, I would like to ask you, what inspired your journey into tech, and how did you find your way into the Power Platform?
Yeah, so I think I probably got into it in a roundabout way. So one of the things that got me excited early on is just I always loved tinkering and working on things, and I love computers. I was that nerd that, anytime we got to do anything with computers in school, I was all for it. I loved, I don't know if anyone here remembers Oregon Trail, if I'm dating myself too much when I use that reference, but uh, that was like my go-to game. I love those little tiny iMacs that we got to play those on in school. So I always kind of knew that I liked that, but didn't know that I want a career on it. But I think one of the things that really set me on that trajectory early on when I was, only 13 was my dad. He was an electrician, and he loved to tinker and work on things. And one of the things that he started as a kind of hobby was building computers. So he would do that around the house. I was kind of interested. I'm like, that's kind of cool. So he's like putting all these parts together, and like eventually it builds the machine that I'm playing all of my games on and, surfing the web on. And I wanted to know how it works. So I kind of worked up the courage one day to ask him, like, so what exactly are you doing? How do these pieces work? And he was really patient with me. He took the time. He explained, all the individual moving parts, what they do, how they work together, and led me to building my first computer when I was 13. So I think from that point on, I was hooked. I knew I loved the hardware side and just seeing how everything works together. And then that got me kind of segued into, I guess, more of the software side. I know I grew up in 2000s, right? So MySpace was big then. I think we all, it's kind of funny back then, again, dating myself, but we were all like developers because we had to use HTML, right, to make our cool MySpace pages. So that kind of got me hooked in that. And that side of things. And so I knew I liked hardware. I knew I liked software. Didn't know exactly what I wanted to do though still, but I just know I geeked out about this stuff, and I love technology. So one of the things, I took every computer class that I could in school, and just to learn more, I took Photoshop classes. I was just, graphic design. I was just trying it all just to see what would stick. And eventually that landed me in college. I was kind of still trying to figure out, well, do I want to major in like computer science? What exactly do I want to do? And I got an internship. So I am Native American, and we have a lot of tribal casinos here. I live in Oklahoma. in the US. And so one of the things that I was able to do was get an internship at one of the casinos, and I got to do a rotation of all of these different groups within IT. So I did a help desk rotation. I did a rotation for the hardware side, and then I did a rotation from the software from the development team. And that's where I discovered, really programming. So they gave me this huge thick book that I still have, like headfirst into C Sharp. So that's where I got my first experience into, the development side of things. And they gave me some tasks from there, like build a Space Invaders game and kind of fun things like that. But then once I learned enough, I got to program the slot machines. So I got to see like how they actually work, and how the algorithms work and everything. And I was hooked. And one of the things though that really led me into my trajectory from that internship was they were rolling out SharePoint. So that's like a collab tool that they used, and it was a big project for them, and it was all hands on deck. So they're like, okay, we're gonna throw the intern at it, and you're gonna learn this thing. Never heard of it before. What the heck is a SharePoint? But I learned fast on that one, and I helped them set up their SharePoint environment. Did some custom coding on top of that as well to build out some custom pages and everything, and web parts and all that. And thankfully that was my intro, because that led me to kind of where I was. That was a very hot skill at the time in the kind of mid 2000s there. Everyone was wanting to roll out SharePoint intranets. And so once I finally graduated, decided, yeah, I'm going to go all in, got my MIS degree, and ended up getting a job at a local telecom company where I was their SharePoint developer. So did that for a while. That segued into me being able to kind of start my own consulting company, because I had, that expertise at the time, was doing a lot of .NET, a lot of SharePoint dev. And then eventually that led me to my journey into the Power Platform, because although I love the dev side, I'm always been about what's the path of least resistance? What can I do to be able to get solutions built faster for, my clients, and what are new things that I can learn? So I was always reading, seeing, what are the new ways of doing things out there. And I learned about this little thing called Power Apps at the time, back in 2015, 2016. And I just started looking at it, seeing, what can this thing do? I was doing some info path in SharePoint Designer stuff at the time, and I didn't really like it but my clients wanted it. So anything I could think get them away from that. And I ended up convincing some clients, like, hey, maybe we should test out this Power Apps thing and this the Power Automate thing. Maybe it can replace, some of the things you're doing, and I could build it for you, and you can maintain it. And I ended up getting it to stick, and I was hooked ever since. And then that expanded into everything else that the full-blown Power Platform has become now, with Copilot Studio and AI and Power Pages and all that. And I've just been hooked ever since. So long story, but it took me a
Wow.
while to get
Yeah.
there.
Wow. No, honestly, your background is truly inspiring. I have a very similar background as well. It was my brother who got me into tech, funny enough, and he's younger than me. But yeah, really moving. Thank you for sharing that. Now, my second question is more about, with all this fast-paced changes. I mean, I took 4 weeks off this summer to go on vacation. I come back to Microsoft and everything's changed, rebranding, new skills. So how do you stay on top of your upskilling journey?
Yeah, I mean that's I took time off recently too, and I'm like, wow, okay, so like what, we have new billing for this, we have new names for this. It's just like it changes so fast. It's really hard to keep up. I think honestly, I don't think I do keep up in the way that people might be imagining. Because when I first started out with the Power Platform, like I said, it was just kind of a really small subsection, right? It was Power Apps, and then eventually Power Automate, and it was way easier to keep up with everything. But now, with the pace of change and with AI and everything, it feels like literally every week we have something new that's changing the game. And so it's hard. It honestly gives me a bit of whiplash when I try to keep up there. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of direction. So the thing that I've been doing lately to try to reframe how I think about keeping up with things is I had to let go of this kind of thing that was eating at me, where I felt like I had to master everything. Like I had to know it all. Like I need to be the person that people go to with every single Power Apps question, every Power Automate question, every Copilot Studio question. And I've really, as of late, kind of been picking a lane. So I decided right now my lane is going to be Copilot Studio. I really want to dive in as deep as I can with that and build true expertise. And other areas, I'm okay if those kind of are more, generalist areas. I still want to know, the fundamentals, and be able to talk about that and do things. But I'm going to hone in on my lane of what I want to say that I'm really kind of an expert on and dive in. The other thing that I do that really helps me a lot is I curate. So I don't just try to mass consume everything because it's overwhelming how much stuff is out there. I mean, there's so many great people, with YouTube channels putting out great content, with blogs, with podcasts. So I'm kind of strategic about, the things that I know that I want to make sure I'm staying on top of. And I follow people on LinkedIn, subscribe, and kind of have watch lists for individual people on YouTube that post things that I'm interested in learning more about. Podcasts like the Power Platform Boost and the Low Code Approach, and those kind of help me kind of keep updated while I'm doing my morning routine. I'll often get coffee, get breakfast. I'll put on a podcast, so listen to that and kind of relax to start my day. That way it kind of helps me get more of a signal and kind of cuts out the noise, since I do this kind of curated approach of how I'm going to learn. And then the most important one for me is I like to learn by tinkering. So for me, I don't just absorb everything from reading and watching. I need to be hands-on. So I always make sure to carve out time every week, between meetings and all that, because my day can get and my week can get crazy, just to have time to build and focus on something. So I'll pick maybe one or two things that I heard about that I want to learn more, and I'll just go and start building and trying to see what I can do with it. And I think oftentimes it's really the best learning experience when you try and it breaks, because that's when you reverse engineer. Okay, what's going on? What am I learning here? Why is this not working? I might ping a few colleagues, friends, that I know, to kind of ask what their experience is and go on. And so, I mean, that's the main thing. It's just always staying curious and be really mindful about, what do you want to hone in on, and what are you okay with, being more of a generalist and creating that curation and, really just diving in and tinkering.
I love that. No, thank you. You mentioned a specific podcast. What is that? I'm going to write that down. Power
Platform Boost. So it's two MVPs, Nick
Boost.
Dolman
Okay.
and Eureka Ackerbeck. Yep, that run that. It's a really good one. They just kind of summarize all the community news, for the week and what's going on in the world. So that's a good one. And then Low Code Approach was the other one. That's
okay.
Microsoft
Love
one.
that. Love that. It will help me during my 1 hour drive back home, so it's great. What challenges have you faced as a woman in tech, if any at all, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so I was thinking about this a bit. I mean, I think for me, it's some people have kind of a big dramatic moment that, completely shaped them, like a challenge. And for me, it wasn't really like that. It's maybe just a bunch of, kind of smaller things that add up. So, just things that you don't even think about, like in college, for example. So as I mentioned, I live here. I went to a college in Oklahoma, and I got my MIS, Management Information Systems degree, and I was the only woman in that whole program the whole time I was there, which was crazy at the time. So just that kind of awkward feeling that you have with that aspect there. And then, later on in my career, being in IT is already, you're kind of an outlier as a woman in that. But then also in Oklahoma, there's lots of oil and gas. So I did some oil and gas jobs, and that also is, you're an outlier too if you're a woman in that IT and in the oil and gas field as well. So I think it's just a lot of maybe microaggressions, things like just being used to being second guessed more than your male colleagues, being talked over. I tend to be quiet anyway, so that's even worse for me. So I'm like a little bit more of a quiet person naturally. So just being talked over in meetings, and just really feeling like I had to prove myself and I had to work twice as hard as, some of my counterpoints. So I think looking back now, a lot of the stuff that I faced was what I now know as gaslighting, kind of come to with around. So, but I didn't know the name or what to call it back then. So, but there's just kind of those situations where um, you just had to work through it. And I think one of the things that really helped me was journaling of that. So I think the worst thing that you can do is keep it all bottled up, and you tend to feel like maybe you're the only one experiencing these things as well. And the more you bottle it up, the heavier it gets for you. So I think, finding people that you can talk with about this, like your safe space, and saying something, and even if that's just journaling for now, if you can't find, someone to talk with about it, I think was really important. So that was the first thing that I did that helped, was to document it and name it. So I started by journaling and just here's what happened. I don't think this is right, and then so I would kind of keep that in mind. And then really over time, I finally started to build some allies. I found some, colleagues, both male and female, that would help me, and we kind of made a pact to help amplify our, ideas and meetings. And like, so I had one colleague who was like, okay, I see what you're saying. You keep getting spoken over and dismissed. I'm going to like maybe hone in. It's like, hey, I think April has a good idea. Like, would you repeat what you said? I think having those relationships that you can build, people that you trust and that you can help amplify each other like that and support each other, is good. And just, choosing visibility over silence, I think, whether it's just talking with the people, your safe space people, or, standing up in bigger meetings. I think that's kind of what helped me along the way.
Wow, I love that. No, thank you for sharing. And I can really resonate with the college experience because I was also the only female in my computer science degree. And at one point I really wanted to quit because it was uncomfortable for
Yeah.
me. So no, thank you for sharing. And then lastly, what advice would you give to women considering a career change in either software development or other local platforms or Power Platform in general?
Yeah, I think my advice over the years has changed a little bit because honestly, these are weird times right now with AI moving so fast. And I don't think any of us can say for sure what software development or low code is going to look like even 5 years from now, because it's just changing so fast. And I think sometimes that can lead to a little bit of uncertainty that makes things scary. But also at the same time, it's really exciting because with all the innovation with AI, there's so much to learn, so many new things, and it's also breaking down barriers even more. I mean, if low code already didn't break down barriers and help more people get into tech, now if you add AI on top of that, it's just even better time to get into that, in my opinion. So I think one of the things I was thinking about is I like acronyms. I'm a sucker for acronyms, and Sonia Singh is really good at this. Like anytime she talks, right, she always has an acronym for something that I can learn of. And I think for me, I love cats. So cat was was my acronym because cats are curious, right? And curiosity is really what we need, I think, to be able to thrive if we're wanting to get into this space with everything that's going on. So I think just obviously don't wait until you're ready. And I think the fact that we're all here, we're not waiting until we feel like we're ready. We're trying things. I think, as I mentioned earlier, breaking things, following your questions, just really letting curiosity lead the way, is going to help you go a long way with anything. The other one, the A in that acronym, is adaptability. Things change fast. As you mentioned earlier, you're right, you were gone on vacation and then it's like the whole world changed. There was like so many new things. So the only change in technology is constant. And the earlier that you understand that and you accept that, the better off that you'll be. So the tools are going to change. AI might reshape some things, and that's okay. I think, those of us that succeed, aren't the ones who know it all, but we're the ones that can pivot and be okay with pivoting. So, and then the T would be tenacity. I think, there's lots of things that can come up that can make us have, self-doubt. We might hit bugs. We might get underestimated, like I said, I had before, but having that tenacity to work through it, to keep showing up again and again, even if it gets hard or, you get frustrated, is just really going to help you.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, April. That's all the questions I had for you today. And I want to say a big, big gratitude for coming today and sharing your insights to the rest of the community here. So yeah, big thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope everything goes well with this. I'm really excited to see what happens with the program, and thank you all for what you do for the community.
Amazing. Thank you, April. Okay, so moving forward, so I hope you all enjoyed, the insights into April. If you don't follow her, please do. I put her LinkedIn profile here. She sends out really cool posts and interesting things that will all support your learning. In terms of moving forward with Cohort 4, so I wanted to kind of walk you through a little bit about the expectations when it comes to mentor and mentees. I'm assuming you all have been matched. Maybe Shravani, just correct me if I'm wrong. Everybody should have received their mentor-mentee pairings. Is that correct?
Yeah, most have gone out. If there was any that missed, please check your junk email. I sent it over with my automation email, so it might be tagged as a phishing email or something like that. So please check your mailboxes. If not, eventually Shreya will show a support form link in the QR code so you can submit a request so we can track your submission and get you connected.
Amazing. Thank you, Shravani. I will talk a bit later about the support form, but basically, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Mentorship is this tool for personal and professional growth, and what we're hoping is that this mentorship program will also be a two-way street that will benefit both you, the mentor, and also you as the mentee. Now, our vision is really to empower women professionals in Power Platform and related fields to achieve their full potential through impactful mentorship, fostering growth, leadership, and a strong network of support. So I want to just kind of walk you through a few things to be mindful about. So every person here on this call is unique. So there will be different development goals, such as more technical upskilling, Power Platform related goals. Maybe it could be reviewing someone's CV or resume, doing mock interviews to get their dream job, career growth, personal branding. So yeah, when you're starting to meet with your mentor and your mentees, just think about your goals in your mind about what you want to achieve throughout the next 3 months of this mentorship program. Now, one of the things to really help you with goal setting is to set these SMART goals. So be specific. So basically, a goal without clarity is just a wish, in my opinion. So when you're setting your goals, we do need to be precise. Make sure your goals are measurable. So if you can't measure it, how will you know you're making progress? So progress for me is very motivating. So let's make your progress visible and impactful. Make sure your goal is achievable. So goals in theory should be realistic. So please feel free to stretch yourself, but don't set yourself up for failure. Make sure your goal is relevant. So your goals should really align with your broader values and long-term objectives. And then lastly, think about time bound. So this cohort is 3 months. Deadlines obviously create urgency. So without this urgency, goals tend to drift apart. So we do have these 3 months for this cohort. Maybe a good idea could be for you to maybe think about what can you achieve out of these 3 months with your mentor and with your mentee. Please do keep an open mind. So please do, guide and support your mentees, provide direction and advice, but also be open to reverse mentoring. You'll be quite surprised in a good way how much you can also learn from your mentee, even as a mentor. Please do offer constructive feedback because this really does encourage growth and improvement, provide actionable insights, and most importantly, be kind. When you are trying to facilitate professional development, share any industry knowledge you possess. So I think you'll get the most of this mentorship if you can knowledge share, help build on your professional networks. And lastly, be a role model. So really do inspire through your actions and through your work. As I've mentioned, we do have 3 months for this cohort. Should you wish to continue your mentor-mentee after the 3 months, this is entirely up to you and something you can set as an expectation with your mentor. In terms of meeting frequency, we are asking at least bi-weekly meetings, but please do have this conversation with your mentor and set the expectation correctly. What would be really sad is if you said you'd do a weekly basis and then you just don't commit. So please do be realistic about how many times in a month you'd want to meet with your mentor and mentee. And also, we will be talking a bit later about our community sessions and all our events. Try to also stretch yourself and volunteer to present. There's a safe space for you to, let's say, knowledge share on a specific topic, or maybe you feel like soft skills is something you really want to build upon. So these community sessions are really an amazing platform for you to voice yourself in a safe space where you can also get feedback from the rest of the community. And also be present, be engaged, and try to have some fun. Drew, are you in this call? I would like to maybe pass the floor to you just to speak more about the mentees do's and don'ts and also our community events.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. So do we want to do the couple slides of the do's and don'ts, and then I can share my screen for the timeline? Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Perfect. Okay, so starting here with mentors, in your mentor and mentee guides, there's a page at the end there about the do's and don'ts. Make sure you're looking over those and that you're comfortable with the expectations of the program. But for mentors, it's really important to reflect on your mentorship journey, discuss the experiences and learnings. We'll see in the timeline that there are dedicated meetings that are just mentors or just mentees. Those are great times to discuss those experiences and things that you're learning along the way. I always love celebrating achievements, big or small, any wins. If you share them, make sure you share them with the organizers, with us as well. We'll make sure that that gets amplified. We love hearing about great things that are happening in the program. Plan future actions and goals. This is really important. Again, with those SMART goals, making sure you're setting goals for yourself and for your mentor-mentee partnership. And then lastly, that program duration here is 3 months. The closing and digital certificates will be on that December 12th. Then next here are do's and don'ts for our mentees. First, just be proactive, okay? Take the initiative to schedule the meetings and follow up on your discussions. The mentors are here to support you, and we want to make sure that you are owning your goals and your journey as well. And that we're really having that partnership there. So take the initiative, schedule meetings, and do those follow-ups. Make sure you're sharing your goals openly with your mentor. At the halfway mark, that's always a good point in the program to open those goals back up. Hey, what have we completed? What have we met? What have we achieved? And then really get that maybe new goals or adjusted goals for the rest of the program. And don't be afraid to respectfully discuss challenges or expectations or things that you're wanting out of this program. And again, that support form is going to be shared later. If you have any kind of deeper problems or challenges, you can also share those with the organizers through that. Dedicate time to the program. Okay, so if you're really interested in skilling up, make sure you set aside that time to learn the skills that your mentors are talking to you about. That's going to just help growth and your goals, and that kind of rolls up all into everything. Make sure you're focusing on your personal and professional growth, or whichever side your goals may be aligned to. And then regularly reflect on feedback. And if your mentors are giving you feedback, take some steps to apply that advice if those are geared towards your goals. Now, I don't want to steal the screen share fully. Shreya, are you okay if I do that just for the
Fine.
The guides? Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, let me pull this open. Hopefully everyone can still see everything. Okay, so first we're looking at the mentee guide timeline. Again, this is in your guides that were emailed out to you when you got your pairing. So you can reference this whenever you want to. So we are on that September 12th kickoff call. That's everybody here, mentors and mentees. There are 3 different co-presentations throughout the program. So that's a chance for you and your mentor-mentee to kind of team up, pick a topic that are aligned with those goals and have a presentation about it. Share what you're learning in a safe community environment where everybody really is cheering you on. I gave a presentation last time and nobody's going to tell you like, wow, that was awful. I wish you didn't present. Okay, they're really going to be there to lift you up. They're sharing the recording. People are going to follow up with you afterwards, asking about what you presented on. So it's really great opportunity to share what you're learning. And Then on September 30th, there's a mentee meetup and networking. That's strictly for just mentees of the program. So make sure you take advantage of that as well and share your learnings across that. And then lastly here, I'll wrap up with the mentor guide. Some slight changes there. Instead of that mentee only presentation, we're going to have 2 different mentor meetups, one in September and one at the end of October. We have those same 3 co-presentations, so make sure that if you're a mentor, you're asking your mentee, hey, do you want to present at any of these? And really empower them to do so if they're interested in that. And then lastly, the program will close on December 12th, and we'll make sure that those digital certificates get out to you and you can post them in all of the fun places. Right.
Thank you, Drew. Maybe just to mention, so I haven't quite sent out the placeholders or even the meeting invites for these community events. I will do so either end of day today or early next week. So just keep an eye out on those meeting invites in your calendar. Okay, resharing my screen. Hopefully you can see it. This is the last slide before we close. So one of the things we've changed for this cohort is just to have a faster resolution to your support requests or any help and support you need. I've created this Microsoft Forms. So if you have an issue, maybe let's say your mentor or your mentee is not responding, maybe there is a match conflict with things like time zone, for example, or you've not received at the end of the cohort your certificate, or you've not received any of my meeting invites in your agendas, or let's assume you're no longer interested, which I hope that's not the case for any of you. Or if you have an email address change or anything else, please do fill out this form. If you have your phones with you, maybe just take a picture of the QR code so you don't lose it, because this will then triage to different team members in our organizers team to follow up very quickly on your request. So please avoid trying to email us directly. Please do defer to the form because you're more likely to get a faster response to help with your support. And with that, do we have any questions from the community? Anything that was unclear? Otherwise, Shivani, Danielle, do you want to chime in and say a few words? Anything I've missed, for example?
I have a question, if that's...
Yeah, perfect.
When I feel so good to see next. Is that right?
I don't know if it was me or everyone else, but I did not hear the question.
Same.
Okay.
You were cutting off, Hannah.
Maybe she can just drop it in the chat. Someone can read it out first. Yeah, I think she's having an issue with her microphone.
Okay, so while we wait for Hannah to put it into the chat, is there anything else that anyone had questions on?
I'll jump in. I'll assume it's okay. Hello, everybody. My question was going to be around, it's great that there's going to be a get-together for PPCC. For anyone that's not in PPCC but might be at Ignite, are there any plans for anything to do with the Ignite event at all?
Oh, great question. It happened to come to me yesterday, so I am trying to get Willy Wonka style tickets into the Ignite session of things. So far, nothing official, but if we do get the Willy Wonka ticket, I will definitely share that out on the LinkedIn page.
Cool, thank you. And thank you for all the work you've done behind the scenes to get it all organized, because with 300 people, I've got no idea how you've done it, but Well done.
You know, it's not me and my type C personality. It's
The
that
royal you.
organization team. It is my rock
You as a
star
team.
type A personalities bringing this together. So, no, but thank you, and we love seeing you across the pond over there and all the things you're doing. You're such a kick-ass human. So thank you. Little love fest. Okay, and then for the PPC side, the luncheon, we have not. I think when the link goes live, what is it, Hoover, that we're using for PPCC? When you get that app, you'll be able to register then, and then we'll be, of course, blasting that out as well. So just keep an eye open. I would assume like 2 weeks before the conference is when you'll see the app go live for being able to add into sessions. Any other questions? I think I see, is it Preeti?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for all of your input. I have a question, like for people like us who are mentoring new makers or the students in this Power Platform mentor-mentee program. Is there any recommendation of dedicated sandbox or developer environment which we can suggest our mentee to use, or we use the standard Power Platform developer plan to let them do hands-on or anything? Do we have any upcoming initiatives to onboard them into safe environment?
Great question. Not yet. It is something that we are working on because we do see that as a huge gap that we want to be able to give everybody an option to be able to do it. So at this point, no, but no, it is something that we are working towards very heavily.
Yes, that would be very helpful. Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you.
Daniel, did you see Hannah did type her question in the chat? It was just above. So I just want to make sure that wasn't missed.
Let me, thank you very much. Let's see. Oh, presentation for next Tuesday. Shivani, do you want to answer? I don't think we do.
No, this Tuesday, I don't believe we have anything coming up. Drew, if I'm mistaken, when is the first mentor-mentee co-presentation? Thought that was end of the month.
Yes, sorry, let me pull that back up on my screen. It says that we have scheduled out right now the first mentor and mentee meetups at the end of September, and then the first co-presentation on the 17th.
Okay, so October 17th would be our first one. Perfect.
September 17th.
Oh, September. Sorry. Hi, I jumped a whole month ahead.
It's okay. We do actually have one on October 17th, so you were just...
There you go.
You knew what was going on.
Okay, yep, so September 17th, perfect. Hey, Sam?
Hi, mine is actually related to the presentation on the 17th. So if because you're working, you're out with the customer on the day of those presentations, is there a way to kind of pick up the recording or something about the presentations? And then obviously if you can't join that one because you're working, I'm doing a workshop with a customer on the 17th, which can't be moved. I've got everyone in the office all lined up, so I don't think I can drop them at this point. It's only next week. It's Wednesday, isn't it? Next week, the 17th. So it's, yeah. So what do you do in that case?
We do record them. And that is one thing we've worked on this next cohort, is that we have our YouTube stuff all set up. So it does get recorded. Will get posted to our YouTube channel. And then it also is linked on the LinkedIn page too. So that way you won't feel like you have to miss out on anything.
Okay, and you get an opportunity, I hope, to do obviously the future ones because we've got the timeline. We can kind of just work out, just not book on those days. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. And by the way, this is not just the mentoring, but I will say the showcasing of presentations has been become like the fan favorite because we've had just the widest variety of learnings and sharings that have come to this. Like I've loved the direction that this is going. So I'm excited to have more people raise their hand. And remember, safe place just try it. You're not going to fail just by doing it. You've already succeeded. So keep that mentality on that too.
Sikan, did you have?
Yeah, yes, it's not really a question, but just to encourage our mentors, if your mentee hasn't reached out to you, you can do well to just take the initiative to reach out to them. Yeah, because that's what I did during the Cohort 3. I had to reach out to my mentee, and she was grateful for that. So it's always good to just reach out to them if you've not gotten a feedback from them or the first email from them. Thank you.
And I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone that signed up second, third, even maybe the fourth time for this program. It really means a lot. And it's so nice to see the mentees that signed up in the previous cohorts come back as mentors this cohort. Your knowledge you're sharing will be invaluable. And thank you so much for putting that time in. I just wanted to say thank you to all. And of course, new participants as well. Thank you to everyone.
Shri, are you saying on the now everyone will attend all presentations that are given? So you'll have the invite to attend. If you're not able to attend, those will be recorded, so you don't have to have FOMO. Fear of missing out. You'll be able to still watch the recording after the fact. And yes, I did an acronym soup of PPCC. It is the Power Platform Community Conference that happens October 28th through 30th in beautiful Las Vegas. So that will be happening. If you are attending, please let us know you're attending, because we will have a booth in the community lounge for you to come and interact with us, as well as having the luncheon, which will be a lot of fun. We've got a really cool stack of women coming in to speak, and networking and games, like I said. So make sure it's on your list.
If no other questions, I just wanted to just remind that you're the first time you meet your mentor or a mentee, plan for a small icebreaker just to get to know each other better. It could be awkward or it could be as smooth as butter, different personalities, but just go in with an open mind is all I can say. And of course, we're here to support you through any rematching requests that you might have.
Hi, Sarani. So I was going to say there are about two persons here. I was going through the chat. I think they missed out in filling the form for as mentors nomination form. So can they still do that? Cohort, yeah.
Let me follow up offline and review the submission and have a chat with them, and we'll go from there.
All right, okay.
Clara, we have the call recorded, so we'll share the link to watch the recording probably early next week, so you can go through it. We were just giving general guidance, and we had a lovely speaker, April, come and share her experience as well. But other than that, it was general guidance on what to expect. And Jayashree's question about the slides being shared, I'm not sure if Shreya is able to join back. Oh, she's back.
I'm back. Yes, the joy of technology. I think Teams had enough of my voice for one afternoon, and just kicked me out. But what's the question, Shravani? Sorry, I missed this.
The slides being shared.
Yes, I can share the slides as well after this call.
Amazing. Okay, if we'll do one more round of questions, call for questions. If not, we can give you a solid 8 minutes back to get your weekend started. Going once, going twice. Okay, I think that's a wrap on Kickoff Cohort 4. You guys are the most massive group we've had, so thank you for being here, and we're excited to see the joys and the learnings and the connections we're about to have. So thank you all. Have an amazing weekend, and we'll see y'all next week.